Ladies and gentlemen, today is the day that we put all this bullshit to rest. I'm tired of seeing all these bullshit tier makers of people not knowing shit about Call of Duty Zombies and ranking these maps. It's honestly distasteful. It's disgusting! You know, fuck the data, fuck the logic. We're going to rate all Treyarch Zombies maps for the real deal. This is going to be the best fucking tier list you ever goddamn seen. Alright, so let's start off with the classic Nocturne Toten. First Zombies map ever, pretty bare bones, pretty dope on Black Ops 3, but other than that, give it a C. It's pretty average. For Rooked, another average map. Kind of is basically Nocturne Toten, but a little bit closer, and it has perk machines. That's about it. A little bit more space, but very condensed when it comes to narrow hallways and things like that. So overall, the gameplay is just kind of basically Nocturne Toten with a little bit of pizzazz. Dumbass swamp. Shinonu has a little bit of an upgrade. It's a little bit bigger of a map. Still got, you know, the perks and not much really added. You did have the zipline, which was something new. The flogger trap was kind of cool. The Wonder Waff was on this map for the first time, if I'm correct about that. I might be wrong. But other than that, I mean, it's just another World at War map. I would say, in my opinion, it's probably one of the better World at War maps. Other than that, though, there's not much really going on. I'd probably put it at a high C. Yeah, I'd probably put it as the highest C map. Adolf Hitler's vacation home. Honestly, people are probably going to hate me for this. I think Derice is a really, really good map. Again, it really expanded upon the innovations of World at War at the time, kind of, you know, added more layers to the progression system of, you know, each game with adding the Pack-a-Punch, and you also had the teleporters, the fly trap Easter egg, which was kind of new. But other than that, I mean, it really wasn't much difference from this map and Shinonuma besides the Pack-a-Punch and the teleporters. Other than that, I mean, I can't really say that there's really much more about it. I would probably say it's a B map, if not a high C. I think if you were going to compare it to all of the maps now, you'd put it at a C. But as a standalone map and basing it kind of off all the World at War maps, because comparing these maps to the more modern day maps, in my opinion, just really isn't that fair. I would say it's a B. It's B at least. Syndicate's Wet Dream. Kino der Toten. People are probably gonna hate me for this, but Kino der Toten is not that great of a map. It is probably the most overplayed and most chilled over map. There's really nothing special about it. Essentially, it's just Derice, but not as cool. I'm sure you have a lot of open space for training. Got some cool traps, I guess. Really good maneuverability, but other than that, it's just Derice. I mean, really nothing was expanded upon with it. The Nova Crawlers were a thing, if you think that's kind of cool. But other than that, I would probably say it's a worse version of Derice. I'm gonna have to put it at high C. I just don't think it's any better than a C. John F. Kennedy's sex tape. 5, in my opinion, is unfortunately, I know there is a lot of good aspects about this map. The characters, the crew, just kind of the interesting setting. I mean, there's never really been a map kind of like 5 when it comes to its setting, you know, being set inside the Pentagon. That's kind of unique to 5. But other than that, it's too tight. It's, again, nothing really changed compared with the other maps that presided it. The Pentagon Thief was new, but the Pentagon Thief is also fucking trash. So I'm gonna have to unfortunately put 5 at a D. So next after that was Ascension. Again, people are gonna hate me for this. Ascension is a good map. Simply put, Ascension is kind of like a revamped version of Derice. Ascension added more availability when it came to map maneuverability with the lunar landers, which was kind of a big plus. I personally prefer the lunar lander system over the teleporters. The monkeys were fucking awful, but then again, I can't really say there's that much interesting with Ascension. I don't have much to say about Ascension. I'd probably give it a B. I think it's slightly lesser than Derice, but is still on the B tier. Rest in peace, George Romero. You were pretty dope. Probably one of my least played Zombies maps ever. Call of the Dead is a weird one. It's not a bad map by any means. I do not think Call of the Dead is a bad map. It's got its bad aspects and it's got its good aspects. You know, the zip lines, the Scavenger was a pretty interesting wonder weapon. We kind of really haven't seen much like that since. But other than that, George is kind of an asshole. The layout of the map is just, it's good, but some choices just don't make much sense with me. And in my opinion, Togg der Toten improved on the layout of Call of the Dead extremely. To me, Call of the Dead is a good map, but it lacks an identity. In my opinion, it is probably one of the least interesting maps. There's really nothing to me that stands out. I mean, it's just this snowy, dense, dark, foggy shoreline, essentially. And that's it. Call of the Dead is a good map, but I just can't give it a higher. I think it's a C tier. It's not a bad map, and it's not a great map. It's an in-between map. Literally heaven. I know a lot of people don't like Shangri-La, and a lot of people love Shangri-La. I think Shangri-La is a pretty good map, actually. The Wonder Weapon is pretty great. Spike Moors were pretty amazing. It's such a fucking shame they didn't come back in Chronicles. The Napalms and the Shriekers were kind of annoying, but they do help with crowd control. You just gotta be kind of careful to kind of keep your distance as much as possible. I know it's kind of hard on Shang. It is a challenging map. Like, look at all the maps prior to Shangri-La. There's about one map in here that's really challenging. That was 5. And 5 was fucking garbage. In my opinion, Shangri-La is a far better version of a hard map and a better improvement of a hard type map than 5. I think Shangri-La is a much better map. So honestly, I'm going to put Shangri-La at A. I think Shangri-La is an amazing map and is highly underrated. The moon landing was fucking fake. Now here's where we get to some of my truth. Moon is the most underrated map ever, in my opinion. One of the most. The reasons that people hate this map are the most dumb bullshit fucking grievances with the map I've ever heard. All of the anti-gravity is annoying. Okay, shut the fuck up, dude. No, it is not. The anti-gravity on Moon is not annoying. Oh, I might jump and then dash into some zombies. Dude, then just don't be a fucking idiot. How about that? The spaceman, I will agree, is annoying. Just simply because of how quiet he is, and sometimes you just turn around the corner and then boom, you lose your jug or any perk. I think Moon is a masterpiece of a map. Not only was its setting amazing, when there's never been really anything like it since. You had the zap guns or the wave gun, which is probably, in my opinion, my favorite wonder weapon. Also added the QEDs, which are, in my opinion, are probably one of the most interesting equipments ever, simply because of the amount of abilities. If you really think about it, the QEDs are a gobblegum before gobblegums were invented. That's exactly what QEDs are. QEDs are fantastic. Oh my God! These cookies is good! I can't stop dancing! These cookies is fucking... In my opinion, and I know I'm going to get a lot of hate for this because people hate Moon for some reason, I'm putting Moon at S tier. I don't see the issue with this map. I think this map is great. Transit, in my opinion, is probably one of the most interesting and dull maps ever made. It has some of the worst mechanics ever and some of the most interesting mechanics ever. Let's start off with the good. So Transit was the first map in the Victus storyline that introduced double Easter eggs, which it's a system that I wish would have come back in Black Ops 3 and Black Ops 4. The whole system of moving around the map constantly, I think, is a really interesting system, and in my opinion is kind of like a precursor to the Rush mode from Black Ops 4, which was actually a really, really solid mode. And I feel like if Rush was on Black Ops 2 for Transit, oh my god, it would be an amazing experience. But Transit has some of the worst features. Like I said, you have the fire, which constantly damages you, and when you're on a higher round is a pure fucking just curse, because not only do you have to worry about stepping in and taking damage and then getting swiped by zombies, you also have to worry about it turning zombies into fire zombies, which have a blast radius that damages you significantly. Then you have the fact that the bus constantly moves in a ridiculous time and speed, and you can't slow it down. Then you have the jet gun. To even call it a wonder weapon is a disgrace to the name of wonder weapons. Then you have all the buildables. Now, although buildables were a new feature on this map, and it was pretty incredible, half of the buildables have no use. You need the turbine for everything. You need the turbine to open certain doors to get parts for the bus. You need it to help open Pack-a-Punch. And then you get Tombstone. I think Tombstone was actually a pretty interesting idea, but it does not work on Transit. It's so bad. I think Transit has some of the best potential out of any zombies map ever, and it's a shame that it never got to fully live it. I'm going to put Transit as a whole at D tier, and then I'm going to rank the other side maps for Transit. I'm going to put Bus Depot at F. It is a garbage map. I'm also going to put Farm at F. It's the same thing. There's nothing really to do. But then you have Town. I would say Town is a great survival map. I would put Town at C. I think, I would even put Town at B, to be honest with you. If Town had some fully fledged Easter eggs and some more side things, or more buildables possibly, I'd put it at B. Town's just got a nice little layout. It's got a good set of perks. Pack-a-Punch is right there in the middle. 2 box locations. I mean, it's a great, easy survival map.
The Chinese government needs to be fucking stopped.
Improvement over Transit, but not much of an improvement. I think Die Rise has an interesting layout. How it does the same thing as Transit. Constantly forces the characters to keep moving throughout the map, which in my opinion is a good concept because it prevents things like camping and sitting in spots too long. And you just have to keep flowing. If you want to go get a perk, you got to run all the way around the map. You got to move, and I like that. It's an interesting concept. It's just done really poorly on Die Rise. Without PhD and the ability to constantly call elevators, it's just so tedious and it's not fun. I think, in my opinion, it's better than most of the World at War maps and Town, but it is not better than Kino and Call of the Dead. I just can't put it any higher than that.
Ain't that swell?
One of the most overrated maps ever, in my opinion. So don't get me wrong before I say overrated. I think Mob of the Dead is a fantastic map. It introduces fantastic characters, a wonderful setting, a great wonder weapon with the ability to craft buildable upgrades for your wonder weapon, which is something we hadn't seen before. You had the Hell's Retriever Tomahawk and the Hell's Redeemer. And it was super easy to get because you didn't have to get it from the box. You just got it from map flow. You just got it from going from one dog to the next. Even though it adds a lot of interesting features, especially the afterlife system, it's a map that you get really bored on really quickly, I find. There's something that really keeps me wanting to play. It's just a really quick hop on, maybe hit a quick round 20 to 30, maybe even 35, and then it's just quit. I never want to go for high rounds. I never want to just see how long I can hold out. It's just like, yeah, I'll play Mob for a little bit. I go to like 30 rounds and I'm just kind of like done. I just lose interest in it fast. I'm going to put it as the high A category. I think it almost is an S tier map, but I just can't put it there simply because of the fact that I get bored of it extremely quickly.
18 naked cowboys in the showers at Ram Ranch.
Alright, next we have the notorious triumphant triplet of the Victus saga. Buried, in my opinion, is one of the greatest maps ever made when it comes to small innovations, new equipment, new abilities to change the environment around the player, things like power-ups, opening new doors, opening a teleporter, and just finding more pickups that have constant use. It's not like a buildable system where it's like, okay, I gotta build this, trample steam, and I gotta go build this. That is present on the map, but you also have the pickups that help Leroy, that help you open the map, change power-ups, pick up the box, move the box, things like that. So it's great. Full trade, in my opinion, is one of the greatest perks ever made. I think it's one of the greatest utility perks, not the greatest utility perk we've ever gotten. You have the Witch's House, which was a really interesting kind of like a mini boss round / stage where you kind of move your way through this house and you kill these ghost witches, and it was just great. I think I have some of the most fond memories out of any zombies map on the map Buried, and for that very reason I'm putting Buried as slightly below Mob of the Dead. I think they're on the same wavelength in my opinion. Mob of the Dead is slightly better than Buried simply because it's a little bit more challenging, and Buried's just a little bit too easy. This one is actually kind of an interesting one for me. I really like Origins. I love it. But at the same time, I fucking hate Origins. Origins is one of the most innovative and, in my opinion, regressive maps ever. The gameplay of Origins is pretty great. But the issue is that the main story when it comes to Samantha and the rest of the Easter egg kind of, in a way, interferes with the gameplay and gets kind of annoying. And that's kind of an issue that kind of pushed its way into the future in Black Ops 3. The narrative kind of gets a little bit too intertwined with the gameplay, and then it just kind of becomes a blurred mess. And that's my opinion. That's kind of what happened to Revelations, but we'll get to that in a second. In my opinion, Origins is a great map, but I just don't see the perfect map that people say. I don't think it is a perfect map. I think it is a fantastic map, but I can't put it in S tier. I just can't. I think Origins and Mob of the Dead are tied. They're just too great. So Shadows of Evil, I ain't gonna sugarcoat it for you guys. We put it in F tier. Shadows of Evil. What the fuck? Nah, I'm kidding. Shadows of Evil is a perfect map. I'm saying it. Shadows of Evil is an S tier map. It has one of the best vibes and settings out of any zombies map ever. It has great atmosphere. It has great progression. And it's such a shame because remember when the map came out that all the casuals and new players didn't want to play it. I was a pretty casual zombies player at the time. I played it and learned it pretty quickly. It's not that hard of a map to figure out actually once you actually put the time in. And it's really simple to get set up. I mean, if you really try it, you don't even need to optimize that much. You can get all of the rituals completed by at least round 8, I'd say, and that's coming from a casual perspective. You could complete all of them on round 8 after some practice, and then once you do that, Pack-a-Punch is open. You don't got to do anything else if you don't want to. If you want, you can go get the Apothicon Sword, which again is not that hard. It's 3 symbols that you just have to look at. Enter them in there and you get the egg, and you just gotta fill it up with souls, and that's it, and you get one of the greatest specialist weapons ever. And the Easter egg is fantastic. It's such a shame you can't do it on solo. I love the Shadows of Evil Easter egg because it's so simple yet challenging at the same time. It's great. Overall, Shadows of Evil has a great layout, great setup, great everything. I think Shadows of Evil is literally the definition of a perfect map.
So like I skipped the giant, because it's literally Deriz, but better. Literally no one knows how to properly pronounce this stupid map's name.
Der Eisendrachen, whatever.
Excuse me, just getting used to the ether.
This map released on my birthday. The problem with it though is I feel like it is the most overplayed map ever. I think it is a pretty good map. To a casual player, it is kind of intimidating. Shadows of Evil, in my opinion, was not that intimidating to casuals as some people say. If anything, I think Der Eisendrache was a little bit more intimidating. I think the bows, to get the original bow, it was pretty easy. It's the same thing as the House Redeemer. You just gotta fill up 3 dragon dog thingies, and then boom. But the issue comes in when it's where to get the upgrades. Some of the upgrades can be a little bit challenging. The Void Bow, one of my favorite bows in the map, is fucking stupid hard for new players to figure out. I think Der Eisendrache is a fantastic map, but my issue with it comes in that it's not perfect because it leaves out the casual kind of player. Say if you were to take Shadows of Evil and Der Eisendrache and put them together and compare 2 casuals playing on each map and see who could figure out the map the quickest. I feel like Shadows of Evil for the casual would be the easiest one to understand. So in that regard, I think Der Eisendrache is a fantastic map. I think it's a great map. I'm gonna put it S tier, but I'm gonna put it at low S tier.
Yo! Ah!
Okay, now here's the part where people start to click off the video. Know that I have a extreme love for Zetsubo no Shima. I understand its flaws, and I recognize them, but I don't give a fuck. Zetsubo no Shima is a high A tier map that was relatively difficult for every player. Not just new players, but even, the veteran players. It's not easy at times. The Thrashers can be annoying. There are its negatives with the Thrashers. I do think that they spawn in a little too frequently. But just the innovation with the map was fantastic. The plant system. I think the Masamune is a fucking underrated wonder weapon. Extremely. It's so good. Then you have the Skull in Nansapwe, literally, and I don't want to hear this. The Skull of Nansapwe on Zetsubo no Shima is better than the fucking Gauntlet on Gorod Krovi, and I don't want to hear anyone say anything different. I will 100%, I will take that to the grave, dude. I don't know, I just have this weird connection with Zetsubo. I don't know what it is, I just love the map. I have done the Easter egg on Zetsubo more times than I can count on fucking 2 hands. I just always want to go back and play some more. I don't know what it is. It's just such a great map. The atmosphere is beautiful, and that ending cutscene with Takeo, Primus Takeo, and Ultimus Takeo. Do I gotta say any more? It's enough to make a grown man cry.
Choose the means by which mercy will find us. But I am at
Fuck Gorod Krovi. Fuck this map.
Now we get to another controversial one. I know a lot of people love Gorod. I think Gorod is a pretty decent map in some ways. In other ways, not so much. I will hold a big grudge with this map. Me and my buddies, because we had not completed all the Black Ops 3 Easter eggs. Now, mind you, we were pretty skilled zombies players, and still kind of are. And it took us It took us about probably, I'd say, 10 to 15 tries to beat the Gold Rod Easter egg on a full crew, and it wasn't just because of issues we had when it came to steps. That we resolved that pretty quickly. The problem is that every time we got to the damn boss fight, the fucking cutscene crashed midway, and we didn't get the achievement. We finally beat the map, right? And then a couple hours later, we got on with a buddy of ours who hadn't completed it. We said we'd take him through. We completed it with him 3 fucking times in a row, each time blue screened. And they say that Zetsubo's glitches were bad. Golrod has great features in some aspects. The Manglers, the Reagan Mark IIIs, the whole dragon system and the Pack-a-Punch and the lockdowns. There's just so much good about Golrod. I can't justify putting it in an A. I'm putting it in B. I think it is a B tier map. It is the only map in Black Ops 3 that I don't consistently go back and play.
Literally the biggest scam of the 21st century.
Rev is what's gonna fuck up this rank. I have to do it. Golrod is an A tier map. I gotta do it. Rev is a low B tier map. It's every time I play Revelations, I end up enjoying it. But it's just boring when you play solo. I mean, there's not much to do. Build the Cupid Protector, unlock Pack-a-Punch. It's a fun shoot the shit map. It's kind of like honestly, Rev feels like a pretty good custom map, in my opinion. That's what Rev feels like. Other than that, though, there's just not much to it. I mean, the ending was pretty okay for the time, I guess. The Easter egg was fucking dumb. Then we get on to the... You know what? I just realized I forgot a BO2 map. Nuketown Zombies. This shit's going in the garbage.
Literally guarantee you if this was on Black Ops 3, everyone would put it as one of the greatest maps ever.
Here's where my issue comes in. I know that 9 is a good map because I played it. The problem is how good of a map. I didn't play that much of the Chaos story. Number one, because I wasn't super into Black Ops 4 when it came out, is close to a perfect map, but not a perfect map. I think 9, in my opinion, I think 9 is honestly better than Origins. I think 9 is better than Origins. Other than that, I don't have much to say about 9.
Another fucking fantastic map, but Black Ops 4 in general just sucks dick, so everyone hates it.
I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna fucking say it. I'm gonna fucking say it. Ancient Evil. Where's it at? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Oh, B tier? Fuck that. Ancient Evil? I really want to put it in a perfect map, but it's not. It's better than 9, but not better than Mob. It's enjoyable as fuck. Ancient Evil is a better version of Origins. Take it to the bank. I'll say it.
The fact that they managed to fuck up a Titanic Zombies map is the biggest tragedy since the 115 Zombies film.
What is this map? It is pee poo poo. It's not an F tier map, because it's definitely better than 5 or Transit in my opinion, but it is not a fail totally. I think there's some redeeming qualities. The Kraken's cool, I guess. The boss fight was kind of neat, but other than that, it's such a shame that they took a map in such a cool setting and just kind of like flopped it so hard. So Void Despair sits at a solid D.
Honestly, not that bad.
My opinion on this map has changed so much significantly. Blood of the Dead for me was probably one of the worst maps ever created. I thought it was a fucking terrible map. It was boring. There wasn't anything to do until I actually took the time to really play it, learn out how all the shit works, and take time to try and figure out the Easter egg and everything. I think Blood of the Dead honestly is not that bad of a map. I think Blood of the Dead, in my opinion, I'm saying it, it's a solid C map. I wouldn't put it in a fail or a pass. I think it's just a mid-tier map. I don't really have much opinion, but I will say this: the ending cutscene for that map is fucking phenomenal.
100 times better than fucking 5.
Classified was a great remake of 5. Introduced it to a new audience of players because, most people didn't play 5 when it came out because it was too fucking hard. I think Classified was a great way to reintroduce 5 to a new audience and kind of make it a little bit more interesting. Added a lot more personality to the map. The round change music, the aesthetic, the Pack-a-Punch area, all the radios and intel. It's just so great. I love Classified.
Treyarch shit marketing is the reason this fucking map flopped.
It's just going in A tier. Dead of the Night is a underrated map. All of the Chaos maps except for Voyage of Despair are fucking bomb, dude. Like, the story itself is not interesting, but the maps, it's like Gordon Ramsay just zombies into the I don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about. Dead of the Night, I will say though, is a little bit tedious. With all of its part locations and all the side shit it has. And again, this is a map that kind of changes for me. It really depends. Dead of the Night.
The very definition of filler.
I think Alpha and Omega is not a terrible map. It's just boring. It's just, there's got no personality. there's not much there. Sure, the Avogadro and the ray guns were cool, but other than that, it's like, what is there to Alpha and Omega? I'm gonna put it in C.
This map is slept on as fuck.
I've been playing the shit out of Togger Toten recently. Togger Toten is Call of the Dead, but better. It's beautiful. It's got more personality because the way it interconnects with the story. And personally, I think the Victus crew, in my opinion, I prefer the Victus crew over the Call of the Dead crew. I'll say that any day. The Victus crew and Togger Toten are better than the original Call of the Dead crew. You're better than Classified. Togger Toten is high B. Almost an A in my opinion, but I'm gonna keep it at B.
Again, another map no one knows how to fucking pronounce.
High B. I think D Machine is a great map. It is a great remake. It takes Nocturne Toten but doesn't overutilize it. Introduces a whole new part of the map. The bunker outside with the plane crash. You have the, all the new Cold War systems really shine in this map. You have the, the ammo crates, the upgraded perks, the wonder weapon is fantastic. Literally what the jet gun should have been. I think D Machine was a great map. The Megatons were an interesting boss. They're a pain in the ass, but it was different. We never seen a boss kind of like that kind of multiplies when you kill it like that, I guess. The wonder weapon was cool. The wonder weapon upgrades were easy. Easter egg was easy.
This map triggered my fucking Vietnam flashbacks.
Was a great addition. The way Ray K was a great. The way that Pack a Punch and the Wonder Fizz right at spawn was pretty great. The Easter egg was pretty great. Again, a little too easy for my tastes. I think that the Cold War games have just been a little too easy. Still fun as hell. I still think Cold War is a great zombies game, and I think these are great zombies maps. It's not perfect. Firebase Z, the mimics spawn in way too fucking much, and so do the manglers in the higher rounds. And some of the Easter egg steps are just kind of stupid easy. Half the Easter egg is just building the right K. So other than that, I'm gonna give Firebase Z. I think Firebase Z is slightly, but literally like a 0.% not as good as D Machine. So far, I think they're both, all the Cold War maps are sitting at a solid B tier for me. But this is my tier list. I know a lot of people are gonna fucking kill me for the fact that I have Zetsubo up fucking ahead of all these maps. But fucking shoot me for it. I don't give a shit. So yeah, this is my tier list. I know this tier list kind of looks like a fucking meth addict fucking made it, but oh well. This is law. This is the facts and logic. This is the truth. So, hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you later.